All right, when you're doing iterates, it's pretty simple. Let's do number 15. It says f of x equals 2x minus 1, and the initial value is 3. And what they want here is x1, x2, and x3, okay? To find x1, we plug in this initial value here. So it's going to be 2 times 3 minus 1, and that equals a 5, because 6 minus 1 is 5. To find x2, we plug this in. So it's 2 times 5 minus 1, which is 9. And to find x3, we plug in this one, which is 2 times 9 minus 1, which is 17. And so your answer would be 5, 9, 17, like that. So go ahead and put this in your calculator under the y equals screen. 2x minus 1. Hit second window and turn the first auto to ask. Okay? And now hit second graph and type in a 3. Does it give you a 5? Now type in a 5. Does it give you a 9?
Yes.
Now type in a 9. Does it give you a 17?
Yes.
So you know you're right. Check your work so you don't make mistakes on this one, because this is easy. Okay, we learned before that an is the nth term. So an plus 1 is the term right after it. You understand that? An is the name of a term. You're not going to multiply 5 by 2. Well, you are, but you're not going to do an is a term, okay? So if I know a1 is a 5, then I'm looking for a2, which would be, what you're going to do here is you're going to say, what value of n do I have to put in n plus 1 to make that a 2? 1. So it's going to be a1 plus 1, which is a2, equals 2 times a1. See how the 1 is in both places for the n? Well, what is a1? 5. So a2 equals 2 times 5. So a2 is 10. To find a3, n would have to be 2. So a3 would be equal to 2 times a2, which is 2 times 10, which is 20. So now you see a pattern. All you're going to do is to get a4 is multiply the one before it by 2. So that's 40. And then to get a5, you multiply the one before it by 2, and that's 80. We're going to do one that's a little bit more complicated now. And remember, they want the first 5 terms. They already gave you a1, so you only have to find the other 4. Sometimes they give you a1 and a2 because you're going to need it, and then you only have to find the next 3. But you're going to find a total of 5. You don't have to keep going. In order to find a3, this has to add up to 3. So what is the value of n? What is 2? Because 2 plus 1 is 3. So we're going to plug in 2's for everything. So this is going to be a3 when I put in a 2 equals a2 plus, what's 2 minus 1 over here? 1, a1. So to get a3, you're going to take the guy right before it plus 0, which is the guy before that. So a3 is 1. So to find a4, what does n have to be here in order for that to be a 4? 3. So it's going to be a3 plus a2. So you're adding the 2 before it in this one. Every one is different. You might have to multiply, then add. You might have to do a bunch of things. So a3 is 1, and a2 is 1, so that's equal to 2. And now to find a5, what does n have to be for a5?
A4.
Has to be a 4. So that's going to be a4 plus a3, which is going to be 2 plus 1, which is 3. Okay, So in order to find A3, n has to be 2 to make this a 3 right here. So we're going to say A3 equals negative 4 times A2 plus A1. When you plug in a 2 for all of those, that's what you get. And then you're just going to plug in. A2 is negative 5. A1 is 3. Plug it in. You get 20. Negative 4 times negative 5 is 20 plus 3 is 23. To find A4, n has to be a 3. So this is going to be negative 4A3 plus A2. So it's negative 4. Let me put the 3 in here. Negative 4 times 23 plus negative 5. So that's negative 92. So let me check that for me. Minus 5 is negative 97. Yes, that is what the answer is. Now to find A5, n has to be 4. So this is going to be A5 equals negative 4 times A4 plus A3. So A5 is going to be negative 4 times negative 97 plus 23, and that should be 411. So check it on your calculators.